Sunday night was hard. Post-race, plane ride home, Sunday night was difficult. Monday morning, I woke up and everyone on the team woke up and was ready to go for Martinsville. Like the only time I ever thought about Miami was when I would get asked about it by outside people or whatever. Yeah, you
Thanks
guys.
a lot, Shane.
You guys. So we did a great job of just, okay, that happened. Like, it's in the past. Me as a driver, it's like, all right, well, what should I have done different? And I stewed over that all night Sunday night, running through all these scenarios and, Monday quarterbacking the thing or whatever you want to call it. And I've just tried to learn, like, don't dwell on that stuff of woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's figure out, here's what I probably should have done. These are the mistakes that I made. And let's not make those mistakes again. Let's try our best to not make those mistakes again in that moment if you're in that situation in the future. And all right, what's the next job? So it really wasn't a hugely difficult week because we understood what we needed to do. It was the same thing we needed to do at Miami was win. And we put our best foot forward and was able to show up with Martinsville with something we could win with and then pull it off.
Well, let me focus on the positive.
Let's do it.
No offense, but reigning champ, right? So you pulled it off last year. Your numbers this year are eerily similar, to be quite honest. I thought you had great speed really since May or June. I thought the 12 teams been on fire. But what has it felt like? Not only defending the champ, now you have the chance to go back-to-back. It hasn't ever been done in this format. It's been all the way back to Jimmy Johnson since everyone's done it. Everyone says it's the greatest feat in sports. Now you have the opportunity. Yeah,
I feel like our 12 team is a ton stronger than where we were last year, all year. And you look at you brought up the average finishes and stuff, and, I look back at, I woulda, shoulda, coulda type thing of what I just said I don't like to think about, but we've had tons of races this year where either we've given away the win, have been running great and gotten wrecked, have had so many DNFs through the year, and that's kind of overshadowed of actually how good this team is. Like, this team is really, really good, and just because we haven't had the average finish and we've had things that aren't in our control happen to us, people have kind of looked past that, of like, well, this team kind of came out of nowhere, where I don't really think that's the case. I will say last year we did kind of come out of nowhere when the playoffs started. We got really good at the right time. This year we've had an amazing 35 weeks. There's very few where we've showed up at the racetrack and left Sunday being like, well, we didn't really have good stuff. We struggled all weekend. It's been very, very few. So I do love where this team is at. Just how they think nowadays is really special, and just they understand the end goal in mind and how to get there. And it's just nice to have another chance at it. I mean, that's all you can ask for is a shot at winning another championship, and we're fortunate to have that chance and do something special with, like you said, winning back-to-back, bringing Team Penske and Roger a third in a row.
Crazy.
That's amazing. We have two chances between Joey and I to do that for him. It'd be Ford's first time three-peating in the Cup Series, so we have something there to try to achieve. So there's a lot of milestones that we can reach this weekend. So hopefully we can bring that intensity that we did to Martinsville to Phoenix.
You're talking about back-to-back. So I feel like you got the first one out of the way. You win two. You're talking about legacy, talking about walking Hall of Fame stuff. You're getting up in the upper echelon of drivers of all time. What would winning two of these championships mean to you?
I think you said it really well. Like, the first one is, right, you strive for that your whole life. Like, you just want a shot at winning one of them, and you can pull it off, right? Oh my gosh, amazing feat. So proud of everybody. And this is what I dreamed of ever since I was a kid. It's what I watched guys that I grew up admiring do, Jimmy and Jeff and all these guys that I really loved watching. Saw those, Tony Stewart, seeing these guys win championships and who I wanted to kind of be like. And you see those guys have multiple, and you're like, okay, well, that's the next step. Now I've kind of opened the door in these guys that I wanted to be like, and now I need to push it open a little bit more and get another one because all these guys have won multiples. Right. So, and I talked about it before in the playoff media day before Atlanta. This team is even hungrier, and I am hungrier to win a second, more hungry to win a second than I was my first, if that makes sense. Because you know what it feels like to win one now. You know that elation and that joy that you get and the special moments that you share with your group. And now how do you get a taste of that again? I called it tasting the forbidden fruit. Right? And it's like you want it again. How do you get that feeling back? And we have a chance to have that feeling again. So I feel like that makes us even hungrier, more dedicated than we even were, last year to get the first one.